Ever since Boondock Nation first started back in 2015, we've remained committed to pushing ourselves to our absolute limits when it comes to riding out in the backcountry. Having traveled around the world to countless beautiful riding areas, we've been able to explore terrain few have ever seen, experience the wonder this world has to offer, and make a few friends along the way. In this special edition of Boondock Nation, you'll hear from us, the Boondock Nation crew, about some of our favorite behind-the-scenes moments, hardships we've had to overcome, and what it means to be a part of Boondock Nation. This is the Best of Boondock Nation Part 1.
Over the years, we've had some really epic trips. A few trips stick out in my mind specifically. One was riding the UP in season 3. It was cold that week. I remember the snow wasn't ideal. We were challenging the terrain in the areas that we were at. It was no longer challenging us.
We grew up riding in the UP. It is such an awesome place for people in the Midwest to be able to go and ride off trail a little bit.
We originally started ditch banging. We'd just ride these wide open ditches just to tune our abilities a little bit. We'd go out after school and it was what it was. But when we started taking the weekend trips and riding the power lines and stuff and then dipping our toes into the trees, that's where we learned to ride.
That really steep, nasty, technical tree riding up there helped us that much more when it came to riding out west and developing as Western mountain riders.
While it isn't as gnarly as out west, it's still so refreshing to be able to do that, an hour from home.
British Columbia, in my opinion, is the pinnacle for snowmobiling.
When you get into Canada and get into BC, it's a whole nother level.
I remember the first time we ever went to Canada. This is funny. We're like, we went to Canada this year, it's monumental, we probably can't do it next year, it's too big of a destination, it's a lot, and what do you know, we've gone back at least once every year since. I mean, you can't beat the place, it's awesome.
What Canada has to offer is a little bit different. Where we ride in BC, it's typically a little lower elevation. Most of the riding is done around 6,000 to 7,000 feet. So it's easier to breathe, the sleds run better, have more power.
They get so much snow, it's unbelievable, and their terrain is insane. The riding areas are so vast. You cannot run out of riding. It's completely nuts.
One of my favorite places ever is Revelstoke, and we've been fortunate enough to film there a handful of times. Every trip we've had up there has been unique in some kind of way. We usually link up with some locals or bring some friends up from where we're at.
It's only 12 hours to Revelstoke from Idaho Falls. Pretty easy, drive there in a day. What's so awesome about it is it's such a snowmobiling community. It's insane. It's like the hub of snowmobiling in Canada.
When you drive around and see sled decks everywhere and trailers everywhere, and when you're at the gas station at 7 in the morning and every single pump is filling up sleds, you're in that spot. You're onto something good.
That's why we go back to Revy every year. As it's got snow early, it's got snow late.
When you're planning a trip, it helps to know in the back of your mind that there's a good chance that the snow is going to be killer every single day. Don't go away, the Best of Boondock Nation will be right back. Hey, this is Jacksonrama and welcome back to Boondock Nation. With all this travel and riding new destinations, we've ridden with hundreds of people. From locals that are just guys off the street showing us the spots to professional riders of all levels and all abilities.
Everyone is their own character, and that's what I love about snowmobiling so much. There's definitely a few characters out there that stand out. Obviously, Con is one.
What was the temp, Con?
Oh, it's about minus 25 up here in Canadian land, eh?
If you've ever ridden with him, you know he's got all the lines and just the way he says stuff. It is absolutely hilarious.
Got him! Johnny's alive! Johnny! Got Johnny!
We walk outside and Con's like, oh, I got a nice bobby out here. And I'm like, what did you just say? He's like, the bobby. And I'm like, oh yeah, you guys actually call a grill a Barbie.
Today was the first day I rode with the boys and it was great. We all were like brothers out there. We had real good camaraderie. I ride with a lot of high profile guys, but it's great to get out with some guys that are super down to earth and really passionate about the sport.
One of the guys that we've ridden with who is an OG in the industry is Rob Alford.
Rob is one of the gnarliest guys in a snowmobile of all time, in my opinion. Huge drops. He's a Skidoo ambassador. Was in all of the crazy sled neck stuff when they were really at the top of their game. And to be able to have ridden with him multiple times, and we rode with him in season 2, rode with him last year. He's the man.
Aside from being the incredible rider that he is, I trust him out on the mountain. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's been at it a long time. You know, it's one thing to go out and ride with somebody and enjoy that, but to be able to have such good conversation and enjoy, you know, hanging out with them afterwards and listen to the stories, that's a whole nother animal. Somebody that was really close to us, you know, close to me, close to Dylan, close to Boondock Nation as a whole, was Rob Kincaid.
We lost Rob tragically in an avalanche this last season.
I do remember right where we were riding that day, and we were coming back from riding, and I started to get calls, people asking, you know, where we were riding. They had heard somebody was caught in an avalanche and killed in an avalanche. My heart just sank, and then when I found out it was Rob, like it didn't set in until the funeral, to be honest, because I just never thought it was possible, you know, never thought something like that would happen to somebody we knew or somebody we were so close to. So it was really tough. We went out and rode the next day and it just didn't feel right.
We made so many memories, filming at Locksaw with the Team Locksaw guys and going over to his house to go feed the cows.
What's going on?
Bring this fresh powder back from the East Coast, or what?
Hey,
What's up?
How are you?
good.
Rob was the kind of guy that could turn any day into an unbelievable time.
I feel big time for the Kincaid family and really am blessed to be able to have experienced Rob and been able to call him a friend. We rode about 90 days this last season. There was less than 10 times that we went out that we weren't with a group of people besides ourselves. That's what we love about the sport, is riding with people, getting out there, and enjoying the great outdoors. We've stayed at tons and tons of different lodges over the last 5 years, all over the country. One place in particular stands out to me the most as being the most over-the-top, beautiful, nicest place we've ever stayed of all time, and that is Bison Lodge.
We were fortunate enough to live the life of luxury for a few days there. We were waited on hand and foot, and that was, in my opinion, the ultimate sled trip experience.
I mean, the fireplace in the main living room hangout area was a rock wall. How can you beat that? That was by far my favorite place and the nicest place we've ever stayed at.
There's a lot of other cool locations that we've stayed that fit into their own niches, you know, to really be great sled destinations. One that comes to mind is just down the road from us. Where we're at in Idaho is Kodiak Mountain Lodge in Afton, Wyoming. Really cool, rustic feeling cabins with a modern touch. Plus there's some of the best riding in some of our favorite zones right out the door. One of my all-time favorites though was this year staying up in Vail Mount at Whisper Creek Cabin Rentals with the Fowlers. Sean, Diane, and Tyler treat us like family. We were in some really adverse conditions, extreme temperature, lots of snow, and they saved the day in a lot of ways for us, between helping us fix sleds, you know, trailer tires, whatever it was. That trip really wouldn't have been possible without them. Vail Mount's cool as it is, but staying there made the whole experience even better.
During this commercial break, go check us out on Instagram.
Welcome back to the best of Boondock Nation. I haven't watched season 1 since season 1. That stuff makes me cringe.
Season 1, I can't even think, like, it seems like a lifetime ago with how much has changed between now and then.
Boondocking kind of takes away the snowmobile from original snowmobiling, trail riding, and
starting on season 1, being on camera, talking to the camera was extremely difficult.
Boondocking is like blazing your own trail pretty much.
It was just something we had never done before, really. That has gotten a lot easier over the years too. We went away from you know, sitting down in front of a bunch of lights like I'm right now, into a little bit more personal style, you know, in the moment type stuff. And I think it's made the content a lot better.
Many individuals hit up the snowmobile trails all across the country to take advantage of the snowfall, while others, the more daring, the more adventurous, seek out a unique way to tackle these wintry conditions.
At the time when season 1 came out, we were so unbelievably stoked about what we had accomplished. It was the coolest thing ever in our minds. And now in hindsight, I cringe watching that stuff.
Our riding was terrible. We were just learning how to ride off trail. We were passionate about it. We wanted to learn. We wanted to progress.
While I don't like to watch the old stuff because our riding wasn't as good and our personalities on camera weren't as good, it is cool to look back and see, you know, where we started and compared to where we are now. Season 2 was a big year in a lot of ways.
Season 2 was Jack and all of our first time riding in Idaho itself.
Making that trip out to McCall and spending on that trip a little time in Idaho Falls, seeing more of the state, really made me fall in love with Idaho. That's when I realized that it was a possibility to live out there. We kind of had the idea at the beginning of season 2 that we were going to be out west. I remember one night specifically in Dylan's garage where we were talking about, I think it was before or after our Milwaukee trade show, where we're like, yeah, we're gonna have to move out west. And I'm like, I'm ready. I was ready to jump in right then and there. I would have done it the next day. But then after season 2, I think that idea was solidified. We went and dove in headfirst into season 3 and made that move.
In the early first couple seasons of Boondock Nation, we were driving back and forth 4, 5, 6 times a winter to and from our destinations, wherever that was. When you're out there doing that, we're just riding and filming, but it's a lot of hurry up and wait. I mean, you're pushing yourself for your one shot that you get to do on camera a little bit. When Jack and I decided it was time, we're like, all right, we're all in. We're doing this, let's go out there, let's spend the winter out there. It'll be a shorter drive for us to go to our destinations, and on top of it, when we don't have to go to our filming destinations, we can just go out and ride for fun and take cell phone videos and get social media content and do whatever. As soon as we started doing that, it was like, holy crap, this is what we needed to do for sure.
Being on that snow, you know, everyone has always told us that it's seat time is what makes you a better rider, and that's absolutely true.
It was huge for us. We could push each other, work on maneuvers, whatever it was.
We went from spending 10 to 20 days on the snow out west to 50 to 60, all the way up to 90 or 100 this past season.
I mean, I don't think that Boondock Nation would still be here if we hadn't decided to do that 3 seasons ago.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel during the break.
Hey, this is Dylan Rose, and you're watching the best of Boondock Nation.
Snowmobile camping is one of the favorite things that we, as in Boondock Nation, has ever done. We had reached out to a bunch of our friends, you know, got a big group together. We had some dudes coming up from down south, like the Kameni brothers. We had people we hadn't ridden with before, like JD and Faf. Friends like Jay Menaberry, you know, Mason, and we had Phil Wybar filming it. We were camping out. Some people were in tents, some people were in campers, some people were just sleeping in their snowmobile trailers.
Stayed there a couple nights and just, you know, pretty much woke up in the morning, went dirt biking for a little bit, came back and loaded up the sleds and off we went to go sled for the rest of the day. We didn't have a shower or anything. I think we ended up jumping in the little creek that was flowing behind the campground to try to clean off one morning, and that was freezing cold, let me tell you. Lucas was actually the one that pioneered that mission, I believe. Of course. We went and scoped out the riding zone a few days before we went to do the Snowmobile Camping episode, just to make sure that like we could actually ride sleds in there without completely trashing them on dirt. And a lot melted since we scoped it out, so it was a lot of dirt, like way more than I've ever ridden in my entire life. I felt so bad for our sleds.
And we were able to ride dirt bikes in the morning and sled in the afternoon once the snow softened up. However, it was definitely a struggle to get in and film that riding for that episode because we couldn't keep the sleds cool. We were literally wearing holes in our skis. It was everything we could do to get in there. But once we got up in there, the snow was sweet. We found cool jumps everywhere. We were able to climb anything. We got up on some really cool vistas, and we just all got to throw down. To be out there and just be camping and living in our own element as one little sled community, that's one of the favorite things, in my opinion, that we've ever done.
It's just so cool in the spring in the West to be able to, you can go camping and enjoy bonfires and, you know, all the cool stuff that camping has to offer. Dirt biking, mountain biking, and snowmobiling still. It's something that you can't experience many places on Earth. Boondock Nation means the world to me, pretty much. We've put a lot of time and effort into this thing. We've got so much dedicated to it. I mean, Jack and I pretty much eat, sleep, and breathe this thing.
Boondock Nation has changed a lot from season 1 to season 5. Gone through a lot of development, both as a business and as people. When we first started filming for Boondock Nation, I don't think any of us really had a plan in mind of where this could go.
We created this thing because we wanted to, you know, share not only our passion of the sport of snowmobiling with everyone, but kind of unite the entire snowmobiling community together. We just wanted to say, hey, we're snowmobilers, we love the sport, let's go riding together and let's do something cool with it. It's been very fun to grow this thing from literally nothing, an Instagram page and a Facebook page in high school, to what it is now. I would not trade the experiences and everything that we've done over the last 5 years for anything.
We hope you've enjoyed the Best of Boondock Nation Part 1. Remember, you can watch full episodes like this and past seasons online at boondocknation.com and on streaming devices.
I know you got it.
During this commercial.
You got it. I know you do.
All right. Hey,
Real nice. Go follow us on Instagram on this commercial break.
That was actually really
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee. Stay tuned for more Boondock Nation.
don't forget to hit. I spit big time there.
You're good. I mean, you guys have gotten more professional.
I don't know if I got a good line. I forget the lines, dude.